And a very pleasant good afternoon to our Olathe friends and family. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Spotlight presented to you by Olathe Realty. If you've got questions about buying or selling your home, you can give us a call at 479-968-5668 or cruise on over to www.russellvilleliving.com. Our guest at this time, he is the Executive Director of River Valley Food for Kids, and I guess I should push the button so you can see me. You could hear my voice, but you couldn't see me. And then let's go ahead and welcome in Josh Dunbar. Hey, Josh, guess what? They couldn't see me, but they can see you, buddy.
Yeah. Hello.
Welcome into it, man. Thanks so much for being here. How are things over at RVF 4K?
You know, they are great. We have had a buck wild year, but we are kind of on the back end of things now. So being able to kind of readjust and kind of get back to normal has been a really, really cool thing that has excited me quite a bit. But yeah, things are great.
You know, let's talk a little bit about numbers, because I think it would shock some people just to know the numbers behind RVF 4K. Back in 2018, a study was conducted that said that in Pope County, 1 in 5 kids suffer from food insecurity. And I don't know what the number would really look like now post-COVID, but that number really seemed to stand out to me. What does River Valley Food for Kids do to try to help alleviate some of that?
Well, before I answer that, to your statistic that you were talking about, Feeding America is like a nationwide food organization that is focused on like putting an end to food insecurity. And so they are constantly doing studies. So that's probably where that number came from, is from Feeding America. But I've been talking with some people that are with Feeding America, just trying to get a better idea of where we're at when it comes to food insecurity, specifically in Pope County, as a result of COVID. And that number, which was 1 in 5, is 1 in 4, if not almost 1 in 3. So we have seen a drastic increase in the need for help, additional help to help cover those meals. And you know, if we want to talk like even more numbers, for Food for Kids in 2019, we served somewhere around 180, 190,000 meals, which at its base level is a huge number. But in 2020, that number is 335,000 meals that we've served to children in Pope County. So that is an even more insane number to just kind of grapple with, that in the span of a year, the demand for food insecurity has increased exponentially, and Food for Kids has served nearly double the amount of food. So like that is a wild thing. So how Food for Kids gets involved is we have multiple different programs, and they cover all times of year. So we're in the middle of our backpack program right now, where we serve somewhere between 800 to 850 kids. It kind of varies week to week, but I'll stay with like the higher number. We serve 850 kids a week with our school-sponsored backpack program, where we supply the food in the backpacks and the schools distribute them out to the students. And you know, this year, with students having the ability to choose between like in-person or virtual learning, we also had additional food distributions, so that if they're educating from home, they're able to still pick up that food and cover those meals that the schools aren't able to provide during that time. And then we also have a ton of other programs. We have a holiday handout, we have a summer program, and really our goal is to make sure that no kid goes hungry. That was a lot of information that I just dumped.
Well,
So,
and we appreciate that. We appreciate the information but the thing for me that I really want to push to the public right now is that statistic could go as high as 1 in 3, as you were mentioning. So
yeah.
if we put that into perspective, if you're looking out at a playground over at, Sequoia or Center Valley or wherever, that statistically, if you have a group of 30 kids, 10 of those kids may be living in food insecure homes.
Yeah.
What can the community do to help?
I think, first of all, I think that it's important to understand what food insecurity means. Because when we think of food insecurity, it's very easy for us to just say, they don't have food. But more often than not, is not the truth. More often than not, what food insecurity means is that they don't have access to enough food. Mm-hmm. I have countless numbers of families that we serve at Food for Kids that both parents are fully employed, but they still can't make ends meet. And the thing that takes a hit is food. And the thing that takes the hit is rent or utilities or whatever.
Right.
So I think that the first thing that comes with meeting this need, meeting this increased demand, is kind of destigmatizing what it means to be food insecure.
Sure.
And recognizing that anybody and everybody, like, we are 2 paychecks away from also being food insecure, Right. Like, if I lose my job today, that means that if I don't have stuff set up and in motion, I'm just as likely to be food insecure. And so destigmatizing is definitely like super important, and kind of just recognizing that every little bit goes such a long way. With the kids that we serve, there's a unique component where when you're dealing with poverty or people that are stuck in systemic issues that they have, that they are in, on some level you could make an argument that with an adult they can somewhat control their circumstances. Like, they can control certain components of the situations that they are in. With kids, they are a slave to their circumstances.
Right.
They have no control. So when it comes to, like, how do we meet the need of food insecurity, it is not as simple as telling a 6-year-old to go out and get a job. Like,
right.
that's obviously not going to work. It's going to take some more strategic planning. It's going to take more educating in the community, but then also with the kids, and telling them, like, hey, you know what? I'm going to empower you with the knowledge. I'm going to empower you with the skills and the tools that you need in order to become self-sufficient, so that you can cook for yourself, you can create meals for yourself. And so when it comes to, like, ways that the community can get involved, it's coming alongside and partnering with us. It is volunteering with us. It's donating your time, your money, your resources to furthering our mission in order for us to be able to meet the kids where they're at and help them overcome whatever circumstance they're in.
I want to expound on that stigma that you were talking about a little bit, because I think you're absolutely correct that destigmatizing is so incredibly important when you're talking about food insecurity.
Yeah.
The stigma seems to be that if a child is food insecure, it's typically because the parents are on drugs, or there's a single parent home because of some sort of bad decision that the parents have made. But statistically, that's not always true, is it?
Oh, no, not at all. I can't tell you the number of families that come through that they're good people that are just in bad circumstances, whether they control that or not. I mean, I don't want to get, like, overly political. I because Food for Kids is not political. And so I want...
And neither are we.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. So like I don't
We
want to
sell
get
houses.
into like right. So I don't want to get into like the weeds of everything. But you know, I do think that there is a certain level of recognition that we have to do in order for us to be able to see the need and meet that need. And in order for us to destigmatize, we have to be able to say that, I mean, you know, I want to make sure that I get my words right here.
Well, you want to say what the cause is without putting out some sort of untruth that may or may not be characterized by an
Totally.
agenda.
And I also don't, yes, I don't want to promote an agenda. I want to feed kids.
Right.
At the end of the day, like that is my goal. But I want to make sure that if there are systems in place, if a family struggles to make ends meet because of medical bills or because of like legal bills for whatever reason,
Right.
You can be a genuinely good person that just happens to be caught up in bad situations. And so we have to recognize that that exists, and we have to recognize that it's not always, like food insecurity is not always drug related. It is not always abandonment or whatever.
Sure.
There are so many other factors that come into play.
We're talking with Josh Dunbar. He is the Executive Director at River Valley Food for Kids. If you've got a question, you can drop those in the comments below. We appreciate all the folks who are currently watching right now. If you're in the market to buy or sell your house, 479-968-5668. Cruise on over to russellvilleliving.com. Josh, River Valley Food for Kids has got a special place in my heart. I have volunteered with them in the past. I was very, very active in the first 3 food stocks. I thought those are really cool events. Let's talk about some of the things that Food for Kids is coming up with over the next little bit. We are hoping we are coming into
Fingers crossed on
post-COVID. So assuming that is the case, what can we expect from RVF 4K coming up forward?
I mean, I definitely want to bring food stock back.
I want you to bring food stock back. I haven't
love food
emceed it in
stock.
2 years. It's my thing, right?
Yeah, it's been, I love having the ability to have a fun, family-friendly night. I love live music and different types of live music. I love being able to come and play games and do like a lip sync battle and just find ways to get the community involved passively with what we do. So like, I think that it's pretty fair to say, I don't want that to go away anytime soon. And so I think that we can be looking forward to that in the fall, hopefully.
Can I come?
Okay. You know, that's no, totally, absolutely, yes. We want anybody and everybody to come out to that. But other things that we have on the horizon, you know, there's a lot of things that I would love to talk about that I can't just yet. But we have some cool events coming up. Some of them might involve some games. Some of them I have to tease in this moment rather than like talk specifics. But some of them might involve like a more fine dining experience.
Okay.
You know, who knows? We'll see.
Could those with games also be a part of something that is for change?
Maybe. Who knows? I love those guys.
You can catch Game for Change over on the G4C channel. They are proudly sponsored by Alathus. By the way, that's just a quick, cheap plug.
I love them. They're great.
They are great guys. And Josh, here's the big question for me right now. If I am somebody who is watching this right now and saying, I can't stand the thought of hungry kids. I want to do something right now. What do I need to do?
Yes. First of all, reach out. That is the quickest and easiest way, because it's very easy to get caught up in the sadness of the thought of children going to bed hungry. Sure. It's a very sad thought. I'm not discrediting that or downplaying that at all. There are very, very easy ways for people to get involved and help meet this need. It is as simple as donating your time.
Right.
It is, we deliver food to 19 different schools. We are in every single school district in Pope County, and that requires manpower. So if people want to make that impact, one of the easiest things that they can do is volunteer and come out and help sort food. We've had groups of people come in, anywhere from 3 or 4 people all the way up to like Greek week last week. We had a group of like 20 college students that all came in and donated 35,000 food items.
Go Tech.
Yeah, go Tech on that one. Geez, that alone was 9,000 pounds worth of food that they donated to children in the River Valley.
Wow.
That's amazing, but what is equally just as amazing is the retired grandpa who sees the need and is just like, you know what? I can go out and buy some ramen and donate some ramen.
Sure.
I can go out and I can donate $5 because in both of those instances, whether it's the big, huge things or the little things, like you're making an impact.
Right.
I tell people that one of the cool things that you can do is collect your grocery bags. And instead of throwing them out, donate it to Food for Kids. That's something that costs you no time. You're helping the environment in the process. So that's like a very easy way for you to be able to help us. We rely on those grocery bags to get the food out to the clients. So just simple ways. If people want to donate monetarily, they can go to our website. We can accept PayPal, Venmo, Apple Pay, Google Pay, all of that. And you can set that up on a one-time thing, a monthly thing, whatever, all based on your own personal means. And then if you're just like, we've been hit by COVID, we can't donate monetarily, I'm crazy busy with work, I don't know that I can help with my time, but your work wants to get involved somehow, host a food drive. Do something. There are so many ways, so many opportunities where we can come together as a community to overcome this need. And it's doable. This is something that I love. I see the impact that something as simple as a granola bar makes.
Right.
And so there are so many ways to get involved. Don't let lack of time or lack of money stop you from reaching out, because we can brainstorm, we can come up with ideas.
Speaking with Josh Dunbar, he's the Executive Director at River Valley Food for Kids. Josh, as we wrap up, can we contact you if we are interested in getting involved?
Yes. You can reach out to us on Facebook. That is where we are most present. We also have an Instagram. Both of those are just under the name RVF, the number 4K. Or you can just search for River Valley Food for Kids and you'll find us. But outside of that, if you want to reach out, You can always call or text our work number. That number is just 479-223-1544. And then you can also check out our website, which is just rivervalleyfoodforkids.org. And you can message us, you can contact us, and one way that you can passively give to us at zero extra expense to you. But I know from me, I'm addicted to Amazon. I'll just go there and just look at stuff, and I'll add it to my cart, and then I'll like remove it. But every now and then, I will press submit, and I'll purchase something. And if you go through smile.amazon.com and you click on River Valley Food for Kids, it costs you $0. It is no additional expense to you, but a percentage of whatever you purchase is donated to Food for Kids. And
Wow.
that's free, nothing. So it's just smile.amazon.com, and you can select River Valley Food for Kids. So those are like all the ways you can reach out: Facebook, website, call us, and then Amazon Smile if you want to support.
Josh Dunbar, Executive Director of River Valley Food for Kids. Josh, thanks so much for your time. Thank you so much for what you and the volunteers over at Food for Kids are doing, and I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, sir.
All right, coming up on Monday, Derek Altman from Olathe Realty is going to stop by. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about different ways that you can buy and sell your house. I would encourage you to not miss that. That's 3 o'clock right here on the Spotlight on Olathe Live. If you missed any of our interviews from this week, Matt Ketchum from Game for Change was here. Ryan Harmon was here. Johnny Story was here last week. They're all great. Go back on the Facebook page and check them out. I'm Drew Brent. Hope you had a great weekend. We'll get you right back here on Monday on the Spotlight. Have a great weekend, everybody.